Going on to my Sagittarians, so let's just jump right into it. So the cards that I have for you Sagittarians are the Knight of Cups, the Two of Swords, the Sun, the Queen of Swords, the Chariot, the Lovers, the Eight of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, okay, the Fool, and the Hierophant. I almost thought it was going to be exactly like the Capricorn video, but no, this is different. It's different. It's different in the sense that you Sagittarians actually have a very good spread, pretty much. The reason why I'm saying that is because you have the Knight of Cups. Okay, the Knight of Cups is you're ready to move forward in your love life and you're ready to start giving people a fair shake. The Two of Swords and the Sun represents you have been really doing your homework, okay? You've been learning how to deal with your own emotional baggage. You've been doing the homework as to how to actually deal with it to where it's not dysfunctional when it's time for you to actually start meeting other people, right? Because we all suffer from emotional baggage at some point, right, Sagittarius? We all suffer from that. It's just a matter of, because we all have trauma. It's just a matter of if you actually plan on doing anything with the trauma by learning how to resolve it emotionally, right? This is why it is that we do work over here on this channel. So to move forward, you have the Queen of Swords and you have the Chariot. Now, the Queen of Swords and the Chariot represents that at this time, you Sagittarians are supposed to continue to do your emotional work because you're ready to meet other people, right? But you're good enough to meet other people, but you're not quite there to the point where you're so good to the point where if someone were to say something to you or do something that you don't particularly like, you would be cool. I'm seeing how a lot of you Sagittarians are learning how to deal with that emotional baggage, but at the same time, it's still an instance with you where because of this, you're in a position where it seems like with one wrong thing, or when someone says something wrong to you at this particular time, you Sagittarians may actually wild out on them, right? You may say something to them, right? Not, nothing threatening or any of that stuff. You just may come off disrespectful. And of course, people don't want to deal with that, right? So then you have the Lovers, right? Which proves, right? Which proves my point even further. The Lovers represents, yes, you can get yourself into a loving situation. As far as a relationship, you could throw yourself into a relationship, but what you would have here is the Eight of Swords, a lot of opposition. And the reason why you would have so much opposition would be due to the fact that the people whom you would even be picking at this point in time would not necessarily be ready to open up to you. Now, a lot of you Sagittarians may be thinking to yourselves, well, how is this type of stuff possible? Right? I thought you said that I was ready to actually start giving people a chance. You are. You're getting into that space where you're healing yourself, but you're not, based upon further examination of the cards, you're not ready to further deal with another person right now. Because being in a relationship, I'm not even going to lie, being in a relationship is serious, emotional, as well as it is physical work. It's not just about externally doing things. It's also about internally learning how to work with an entirely separate universe. You yourself is an entire universe onto its own self, independently. And then you talking about getting into a relationship with somebody, which is a whole other universe on top of that with it too. So obviously, you need to understand that that's two universes that is trying to become one, right? So everybody has their own ego and their own idiosyncrasies, things about them that make them. So in order for you to be in a functional relationship, one that works, you're going to have to learn, how do I say, you're going to have to learn how to communicate as well as how to temper that idiosyncrasy, that ego of yours, right? Because everyone has one. It's what makes them them. But the thing is that the Nine of Pentacles represents this being a situation for you where the Nine of Pentacles is about how, the Nine of Pentacles represents, but you do have a lot to offer. You're just not, how do I say this? You're ready to start talking to people, but you're not really ready to be in a relationship with people. So, at this point in time, I would still consider taking another 30 days off, which is a month, for you to deal with that emotional baggage, right? Really take at least 30 days off. You really want to take as long as you possibly want off, right? The Fool and the Hierophant now represents how the Fool is that, with this being said, once you learn how to deal with your own emotional baggage, and you're ready to really jump into that pool again, now it's a whole different kettle of fish, because you will see how different you are, and you will see how different other people are who are still hurt and still need to really heal from their own trauma / emotional baggage. And you'll be able to make a distinction, my dear Sagittarius, with those people from you and from the people who are like you, in the sense that they've learned to deal with that emotional trauma. And there's going to be a clear distinction between those two types of people, right? Internally, not externally, but internally. That will translate externally. And the thing is that the Hierophant will represent your IQ, your understanding of the game will become a lot better. And the reason why it'll become a lot better is due to the fact that nothing will be holding you back, or a lot less things will be holding you back, because your emotional baggage stunts your growth. It stops your personality from developing into the type of personality that you would have had if you had very little emotional baggage, right? Not lessons, because you need lessons in order for you to be a well-rounded, compassionate, empathetic, sympathetic person, right? But I'm talking about with the baggage of, don't do that. Should you say this? Should I say that? This, that, and the third. With little baggage, that'll be much better for you. So, because it'll actually, your personality will develop, your mind will develop. And that's the process that a lot of you Sagittarians or Sagittarius are really going through, right? In the general sense, a lot of you Sagittarius are learning how to be not so fire sign selfish, in the sense that, because the fire signs can be very self-centered and very selfish. It's not me taking a personal shot. It's just me keeping it 100, right? I have an Aries moon. I have Leo in my chart. So I'm speaking as a person that has fire in a lot of different places, about 4 different places, in my own chart. And it's very important to understand that you have to learn to manage that. And the reason why you have to learn to manage that is because if you don't, what will happen here is that you Sagittarians can get angry because you may not necessarily understand why relationships aren't working for you, or why certain things aren't happening in your favor. Now let's clarify the Hierophant. Let's clarify the Hierophant, right? I'm flowing. You have the Page of Wands, you have the King of Cups, and you have the Ace of Cups. Okay. So the Page of Wands is that you have to, one of the things that you'll learn, right, when you're doing this emotional baggage, is to not be so offended and to have tougher skin, right? The fire signs fire signs are zodiac signs that deal with irritation. So oftentimes fire signs need to have that switch in them where they can go from 0 to 100 really quickly due to the fact that that's the way that they fend off attackers, or what would be attackers, right? Because fire signs go through a lot, and they develop that switch where is, you know, that warrior switch where they're not afraid to fight. But the thing is that the King of Cups represents, but there's not necessarily a need for that here. So for you to necessarily fend off would-be attackers, it's more so where, come on now, how many times you seen people really, do you really think that people are really going to try to attack you? You know what I mean? What's going to happen is people who play games, they're going to play all types of immature games. More than likely, you Sagittarians are going to get bored, and you're going to go about your business like stallions, right? Or mares, right? So, you know, free horses, basically. So the King of Cups is saying there's no need to necessarily be too agitated. It's more so in the sense that what you should really look out for is more of a scientific perspective where, how do I say, try to observe if people are playing games with you. And then if you realize that they are playing games with you, then it's time for you to bounce, because you understand, oh, this person is wasting my time. So why don't I just get out of Dodge? And then the Ace of Cups represents, like I said, this will help you get a very high IQ when it comes to love, finding the right partner for yourself, because then there will be a lot less, baggage that you are caught up in and have to deal with, due to the fact that you will know how to see that distinction between people who are ready and people who are not ready a lot faster. Excuse me. And you will not have to waste your time on individuals who aren't ready, and essentially wasting your time. So that's pretty much it. Okay, comment on the video, like the video, subscribe. If you'd like to contact me because this reading resonated with you, then you can contact me at Kareemspiritworks@yahoo.com, or you can go directly to my website. The link to my website, as well as my Amazon page and where you can pick up my book, will be in the description box below as usual. Yeah, also too, please make sure to subscribe. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm at 1,913 subscribers. Would really appreciate it if you subscribe. Thank you. Peace.